This is EA Sports. EGA Tour coverage coming up next. Banff Springs Golf Club is unique in so many ways, especially known for its panoramic beauty. Challenging layout is set in the heart of the Canadian Rockies. Rich Loader alongside Frank Nobilo, ready for the call. Frank, what holes could be a real challenge out there today?
I think if you want to score well today, Rich, you're going to have to play the par threes well. There's 5 of those. They're a good test. You've got one shot straight into that green if you want to set up birdie. There are 4 par 5s here. That's obviously where you can get your score.
Frank, with those snow-capped mountains in the distance, this opening hole is really a gorgeous getaway. You can kind of get lost with just looking out on the horizon.
Yeah, it certainly is pleasing to the eye off the tee. You see the hole bending gently to the left, bunker down the left, not really in play.
Well, those are good numbers right there. 320, 320 yards, just crushed it in the fairway. I mean, that's how the game is played, right there.
He's just making it look so easy. That birdie coming up, formality.
Frank, how about the par 3 second hole?
The first of 5 par 3s the players will play today, Rich. This one's surrounded by bunkers, but certainly one of the shorter par 3s. So with a good tee shot here, you can imagine you could easily get a putt inside 10 to 15 feet for birdie.
Stacking birdies, that's how you put a score on the board. So 2 straight and headed in the right direction. Frank, this is a way to make golf easy when you can hit it that deep.
Oh. I'm going to say, I know that first number's a 3. I'm guessing the second one's a 2. Let's call it 320.
How about that? 4 under par. Frank, when you play Banff, you get some of these wow moments where you stand on the tee and you say, ooh, look at
this is one. Yeah, this is one of them, Rich. Yeah, the elevation change from tee to green is quite dramatic. Consequently, you're going to have to club down a little. At least 2 clubs shorter than what that yardage says on the card.
Paying attention like a little kid at school, Frank. That baby's sitting up.
Sitting up. It's got the best view as well. You don't even need binoculars from where that ball is.
On the green and looking at a birdie opportunity. Nicely bowled. 4th birdie of the day. Now at the 6th hole here at Banff Springs, it's a short par 4, only 373 yards. And the short par 4, Frank, all the rage in golf course architecture these days.
A lot more strategy involved when you've got a hole that you can nearly reach with a tee shot. It's how far back do you leave it, what sort of distance you want that second shot. All those things to compute. Straightforward, a little bit uphill. Basically, it's what you want from your second shot.
Can't ask for much more here at the 7th. He has hit a good one. Frank getting set for this approach. That is perfection with a capital P right there.
That's stealing.
Now to hole number 8, it's another par 3 with some water, Frank, for only 150 yards. This is the shortest hole in the golf course.
The distance control is still very important. If you can get the right distance, you could perhaps aim 10 or 15 feet left of the flag. You're only going to have a 10 or 15 foot putt. So just think of that. Water on the right there. Just aim a little further to the left. You can still make birdie.
Now it's right in his wheelhouse. Good position where he can attack the pin.
Yeah, he has all those options.
Yes, he's holed it.
Unbelievable. From that distance.
Just a superb performance on the front side. He's hoping to keep it going here on the back 9, Frank.
The game is so much easier when you're swinging well, putts are going in. Really, you just got to keep out of your own.
Now that is a shot that will be replayed over and over. So off the long par 3/10, we are at the 11th hole, 417-yard par 4, Frank.
It looks like a straightaway par 4, Rich, but if anything, the hole actually bends to the left, and you really want to follow that natural contour of that. Just sort of draw it off those bunkers on the right, or just simply carry it over the ones on the left. But ideally, down the left side, avoid that pine tree that's further down.
Frank, what are we looking at here at the par 4 12, 442 yards?
Players are really focused on that bunker down the left side. That's the one that has to be either laid up, which would be 286 yards off the tee, or sort of worked off. This could very well be a 3-wood off the tee. Just hit it straight at that left bunker.
Just an amazing display. The records continue to fall. Well, this is a good hole right here. Par 3, 225 yards, 13. Frank, what do you think?
Well, it's called sulfur. I don't remember what element that is on a periodic table, but hardest thing here is not to figure that out, but figure out what club you're going to use. Just a fraction downhill, just over 200 yards. It does narrow up when they start to tick the flag in the back, but there's a nice fat target there, sort of those first 2/3 of the green.
Frank, really good. Frank, how about that?
How can you believe that? I mean, he could have hit the flag and bounced around, steered straight on. Amazing shot, and he really deserved it.
Frank, that ball's sitting up like it's on plush carpet.
Rich, if you and I had lies like that every time, we'd still be playing this game for 11.
Wow, Frank, he is dialed in.
Yeah, that was just some shot in there. Easy birdie.
Continues to amaze. Yet another birdie, and what a day it's been. Good tee shot right in the fairway and plenty long. Frank, looking at this approach now to the 16th, what does the player need to be aware of?
You've got to make sure you fly the ball every inch of the way here, Rich. The ball won't kick forward because of that false front. So making sure you at least club up, not club down.
Now to the 17th, 374 yards, and Frank, players might be licking their chops here.
They certainly would, Rich. Bunkers left and right, but they can be carried with an aggressive tee shot. It'll set up just a short iron into a green that pitches towards you. So maybe just a little bit underneath the flag with a second shot. Really a chance to have a fast finish.
Routine stuff for Rory, that's a par. Well, here we are at the final hole here at Banff Springs, 578-yard par 5, and Frank, a chance to finish the round with a flourish.
If you're one of the fortunate to hit this fairway, it's very reachable, but well protected by bunkers, left, right, central bunkers as well. You really have to be aware of two things. The wind direction, if you hit enough shots, every now and again, one's going to go in.
Crazy, crazy game. Frank, you have to like what you saw out there today.
I certainly did. Swing is excellent, right?
This is EA Sports, PGA Tour coverage coming your way. Hello again and welcome. Rich Loader alongside my friend and colleague Frank Novola. We are back in the state of Pennsylvania getting set to kick off the round here at one of the great golf courses in the world, Oakmont Country Club. Frank, you're very familiar with it because you were right in the mix down the stretch at the 1994 U.S. Open right here at Oakmont.
And Rich, it's so good just to be back here. You know, there's so much history in Oakmont. It's been a host to so many prestigious tournaments in our sport, such as the U.S. Amateur, the U.S. Open, the Women's U.S. Open, and the PGA Championship. It's just one of the true gems on the golf landscape.
Well, this one should be safely on deck here. That is just an outstanding shot right there. And now a chance for an eagle. Just needs to keep it steady here over the putt. 1 under early in the round. Third hole's par 4. Again, it's 428 yards, but frankly, look out to the left and we can see there's nothing quite like the third at Oakmont.
Well, the church pews certainly might look a bit beautiful from our point of view, but they really shrink the hole down, or the landing area, because not only the pews on the left side, but a bunch of bunkers on the right. You see the tee shot plays a little downhill, but it funnels in so closely together that more often than not, we'll see players hit long irons off the tee here.
Not used to seeing that. Going to drop a shot at the third. So with that, the score is now at even par. Frank, at Oakmont, you have to take advantage of scoring opportunities when they present themselves. Is this one of those moments here, the par 5, fourth hole at 609 yards?
It'll certainly be one of the holes that determine the champion because the difference between making 4 and 6 on this hole is extremely slim. Rich, I thought he could get this putt.
Just amazing. Just a mind blower right there. Absolutely incredible. He made the shot. What a display of power and precision off the tee. On the green here on the par 4 in 1. Whoa, whoa. That's a nice lag putt. Frank, what would you focus on a long putt?
That 3-foot circle. Obviously, you allow yourself a little bit more the further and further away you get, but just expectations, lower them a little bit. There's certain distances, just take 2.
That's well played. Now a good look at birdie.
This is an awkward length.
Just 5 feet left. Man.
I just pushed it.
Boy, that hurts. Trying to get out of here without too many bumps and bruises. This one is for bogey. So not his best work. He'll walk away with a bogey. All set here at the par 4-7. Frank, what two players need to look out for off the tee?
It's a rather intimidating tee shot there, since the trees have all been removed that are... Wow, I can't believe you found that.
The par 3. This is what McIlroy Sunday at the U.S. Open in 2007 made a deuce, and it was set up to play at 300 yards on that final day. Now, this is all you want, Frank, at a par 3.
Yeah, it was the first 300-yard par 3 ever in a U.S. Open.
Here we are at the 9th, par 4, 477 yards. Frank, this is a rugged hole.
It is. It used to be a par 5. Some say it should still be a par 5. Long, straight hole, runs alongside the first hole there. Bunkers left and right. And, of course, if you find the rough, the remnants of what it used to be a par 5 is that nice little cross bunker in the middle of the fairway, which forces you to lay up.
4 under on the day. Setting up to start the back 9 here, and if it's anywhere near as good as the front 9, Frank, he'll be very happy with his score at the end of the day.
Yeah, the hardest thing right now is to just keep doing the same thing without focusing on the score.
Superb shot.
Well, it's as good as it's going to get. There's going to be no worries about making that one.
Getting set now over the putt. No problems there.
Yeah, keeps the round going, keeps the momentum on his side.
Pretty short hole here at the 11th. It's only 379 yards, par 4.
Gonna need some sort of miracle putt.
Moving on to the 11th hole here at Oakmont, par 4, 379 yards. Always two components to the long lag putt, the speed, number 1, and then the read. And missed out on that second part. He'd settle for par here. He can really get red hot with a putter. Let's see what McIlroy does. Just hammered that par putt, Frank.
Well, I don't know what he was thinking or what was going through his mind right there, but he better wake up in a hurry, because if this one doesn't go in, that score's going to rack up very quickly.
Well, Frank, the par 5-12 here at Oakmont, it's a lot of golf ball at 667 yards.
It's the hardest par 5 I've ever seen or played that doesn't have water. It starts with that tee shot. The whole fairway slopes left to right. Just to get the ball on the fairway, you've got to draw the ball against the slope. The same problem exists with the second and the third shot.
Just want to nestle this one down to within a couple of feet. Didn't go in, Frank, but not a bad effort. Shouldn't be a problem here. Wow, that's disappointing. Chance to get too deep on one hole, and you leave it short.
Well, the good thing is he didn't miss it. You know? He didn't go past the miss. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
We'll never know.
Okay. Still has a chance for birdie, too.
Right, okay. I like that positive attitude.
On the green, and a chance for birdie. Are you kidding me? He just missed that. I cannot believe that. That was such a short putt. With authority, count it as a par and 2 under. Rich Lerner back with you at the 14th hole at Oakmont. And this is a hole that offers up a pretty good scoring opportunity, a short par 4, 358 yards. And it's a long way to the hole from here. Never easy. Jeez, that one just blew past the hole. It's actually on the fringe right now. Wow, what a shot. Doesn't even need the putt. All teed up at the 15th. It's a par 4, 499 yards. What a test here, Frank.
It certainly is. The tee shot here is a little bit like the par 5-12, where the fairway slopes quite severely from left to right. It means the pews there on the left side are actually not a bad place to aim at. You just have to allow for that kick and roll towards the right.
Just a couple of feet. Good work right there. They'll settle for par. Yet another demanding hole here at Oakmont. Par 3 16th, 231-yard par 3. Frank calls for a well-struck long iron.
It certainly does. It's going to favor something that's hit a little higher and a little softer. If you could just mentally cut this green in half and just sort of look at the left half of this green, that's really the best way to play this hole. And the reason why is the general contours all move to the right. That ball can still funnel down to the right side of the green.
looking to splash this softly onto the green. So the second of the par 4 goes begging, and now I'll have to rely on the short game.
The short game, as we all know, can redeem a lot of mistakes. See if he does it here.
That is massive off the tee.
Meters, yards, I don't care how you measure that. That's got to be what? 300 meters, 325 yards, something like that.
Well, on the green, but far from the hole.
A little bit of a head scratcher. A lot of work coming up here.
Rory McIlroy looking to take advantage with this putt. Routine stuff for Rory, that's a par. This is EA Sports coverage of the PGA Tour. Rich Lerner alongside Frank Nobilo. Thanks for joining us here today in La Quinta, California. Beautiful spot. We're at the Career Builder Challenge. Frank, what do we have out here today?
Par 72, every inch of this golf course is going to extract the best out of your game, because if you don't play your best, you will struggle. Anything in the 60s, something to be proud of.
1 under early in the round. Frank, this is a nice-looking hole. Not long, only 371 yards, but challenging in its own way.
It is challenging. The best approach here really is a conservative tee shot to set up an aggressive second.
No problem, Jerry. Looks good.
It does look good. It bodes well. We might be in for a very low round tonight.
Not on the fairway here. This could be a tough shot coming up next. Second shot from the rough. It's on the way. Playing this par 4, still not on the green after that second shot.
But still not done. A good third shot. Maybe get away here with par.
Did the job right there. Frank, here's a case at the 4th hole, this par 3 of Pete Dye kind of messing with a player's mind. Just how does he do it?
Well, there's a straight line between that tee and the flag. That's the obvious thing. But if you follow the look of the hole down there, it's just the shaping of the bunkers, the little curving of the edges there that just take that mind's eye away, almost making it look like there's a little bit of a dog leg in a straight hole. Very clever.
Well, those are good numbers right there. 320, 320 yards, just crushed it in the fairway. That was just a gutsy shot right there, and a good look at eagle coming up. Just needs to keep it steady here over the putt. That's a birdie for McIlroy. He's just so explosive. Frank, a long par 3 here at the 6th, 255 yards. Club selection obviously is crucial.
Yeah, and length is very important here. Something that can fly high and land soft is obviously going to make that green play a little bit bigger. You get a breeze off the right or left to right into, this hole becomes very challenging.
Frank, that is how it's done.
Yeah, take a gross of those. That is a lesson in itself.
And now a chance for eagle. Now we're at the 8th hole here at PGA West in California. 559-yard par 5. Frank, what are the options here?
A good tee shot, you can certainly reach this par 5 and 2. There's a crosswalk that comes across in that vicinity of 330 yards. That's sort of the green light area if you can get it down there. Anything short of that, it becomes very much a free shot. If you get close to that crosswalk that goes there, then certainly this becomes opportunity knocks.
How about that terrific approach shot setting up a makeable eagle putt? Frank, you hate to miss it from that distance.
More than a setback there.
Goes to 9 under with another birdie. Rich Lerner alongside Frank Nobilo for EA Sports. We are back at PGA West, getting set to continue the action on the back nine. Beautiful hole here. Rock border that lines the water here at number 10. It's 416 yards. Well, you couldn't ask for much more than that, except to make it. Always like to get the double figures under par. 10 under already. Frank, this is a way to make golf easy when you can hit it that deep.
Oh, I'm going to say, I know that first number's a 3. I'm guessing the second one's a 2. Let's call it 320.
You can't leave an eagle putt short.
Now listen, anytime I left it short, I didn't tell anybody.
Right now, another clever, small par 4, only 363.
Rich, it's gone.
In the hole. You do not see that every day. That, folks, is a hole-in-one. Wow. Fairly straightforward, 100 yards to the pin. I mean, that's how the game is played, right there.
He's just making it look so easy. That birdie coming up, formality.
This is just a superb performance. Great round to this point, Frank, and you can really see that reflected in his mood today.
Yeah, it just looks too easy. Swinging the club beautifully. Ball's going exactly where he wants it to. He's not trying to take too many risks. So consequently, he's getting birdie opportunity after birdie opportunity.
I mean, you just don't see this too often. About 9 birdies on the card today. What a round. Paying attention like a little kid at school, Frank. That baby's sitting up.
Sitting up. It's got the best view as well. You don't even need binoculars from where that ball is.
Frankie seems to have found something. Already 2 birdies in a row and now another chance.
Yeah, it's all starting to flow here. This is really important. He's starting to play well, so finish it off here for 3 in a row.
Par 5 16th is a slight dog-leg left at 600 yards. Long and straight, about 320 yards, and in the fairway. Let's see what McIlroy does now with his second. That one inside of 10 feet, really dialed in. Will make birdie if he holds this putt. Just an amazing display. The records continue to fall. Well, there it is. They call it Alcatraz. Just sitting out there on the water, 168 yards away, Frank.
Well, speaking of water, that water looks so peaceful.
Wow, what a shot.
What are the chances of making it from there?
Well, here we are at 18. It's par 4, only 439 yards, but again, we've said it all day long. Water to deal with.
It's a great driving hole here, Rich. You don't necessarily have to hit driver. There's 3 groups of bunkers that are really in play off the tee shot. It's the one in the middle. That's
Presented by EA Sports in association with the PGA Tour. Located in Charlotte, North Carolina, Quail Hollow was originally designed by the architect George Cobb back in 1961. And Frank, it features one of the most imposing finishing stretches on tour. They call it the Queen Mile.
Yeah, 16, 17, and 18. What a great test and a wonderful way to finish this golf course. It has a nice flow to it. Anytime you're in the Carolinas, all these mature trees that really define the fairways. Everything's in front of you. Some greens with certainly a lot of pace out there. You tested every club in the bag. This is a great golf course.
That will be a great look at birdie. Been pretty good all day from this distance, just trying to take care of business.
Even par currently.
That's a par. That keeps the scorecard clean, still even for the round. This is a strong par 4, 452 yards, the 3rd hole. It's a good challenge, Frank.
It is big sweeping dogleg left. Actually in a straight line, it's 315, 320 yards to run out. So if you hit the ball further than that, it's going to have to draw. Otherwise you'll be hitting the rough on the other side. Still a lengthy shot into there on a green that actually has 3 different levels.
Par for McIlroy, but you're just waiting for that moment when he hits that accelerator and pulls away. Nicely played shot, about 310 yards down the fairway. Second shot. Oh, what an incredible shot. Frank, in today's modern game, the players are hitting it so far. I always feel like one of the more exciting holes is reachable par 5, and here we are at the 5th, 570 yards.
Yeah, this is reachable providing you hit a good drive. Otherwise it becomes very awkward on the layup. You're sort of often threading the ball out of trees and just trying to find some sort of 3rd shot. So to your point, big advantage with a good tee shot here.
And with that putt, he moves to 3 under. Wow, Frank, this is all you want in par 3. 250 yards here at the 6th.
Hey, that's what these guys need, especially in a PGA championship. Fortunately, the hole plays a little bit downhill, but 250, whichever way you cut it, is a big par 3.
Not a gimme, but well within his range. Solid par. Frank, there's a lot to chew on here as you get to the tee at the 532-yard par 5-7.
In today's game, 530 plus change you think is incredibly short. And look at the trouble in front of you. Water all the way down the right side and around that right side of the green. Bunkers left. This is not for the faint of heart.
Frank, in modern professional golf, we're seeing more and more drivable par 4s, like the 8th here at Quail Hollow, 350 yards. What do you think of this hole?
It's not a bad hole. Drivable, some might say, but the angle of the green means it's hard for that tee shot to keep on the green. But I think the reward for hitting the driver is trying to sort of aim at that tree just left of the green. And the reason why is then you've got to pitch up the direction of the green. This is a really narrow green.
Well, too bad, Frank. That one rolled right off the green.
It was just coming out so hot.
Frank, getting set for this approach shot, our featured golfer is a player, it's obvious, in full flight right now.
It is. This is where it doesn't matter what the sport is, and golf is a great example for it, though, where when you play your best, it's almost like you're just playing out of your subconscious. Everything happens, it just flows, and you don't really think about it.
Interesting, with the almost space-age advancements in golf equipment, what with new, lighter materials, and with the increased focus on fitness and strength, players are hitting the ball longer than ever. That has forced architects to lengthen the golf courses without sacrificing the integrity or the shot value of the original design. Good-looking shot right here. That ball's run out certainly over 300 yards, Frank. Call it about 310. Clean this up with a top. Continues to amaze. Yet another birdie. And what a day it's been. Well, he's going to have to hit the same club a lot harder or just hit another one. Early part of this second nine, a good approach shot. Now, pretty good chance for birdie. And getting ready for the putt. Well in the red figures at 9 under for the round. Now the par 3 13th hole. Frank, this one 210 yards.
Very, very good par 3. This is actually a big green. It's 37 yards deep, but it actually plays small. There's a front right portion, there's a roll-off area in the middle, and there's a roll-off area in the back. So don't be deceived by the size of this green. You better be pitching that tee shot right bang in the middle.
Well, Frank, as we arrive at the par 4 14th, just 345 yards, our players no doubt are looking for a little advice from a guy who's been there. You've done it at the highest level. What's the right play here?
Rich, after all these years, I think it's like a modified tee shot. And what I'm going to say with that is like a strong three-wood, something that pitches around 270 and kicks 30 or 40 yards, finishes up about 20 yards short of the green. I think that's the best ploy. You won't be able to get at all the flags, but I think you'll play the hole under par for the week.
When's the right time to pull out the big driver and have a go at this green?
I don't think there is, but maybe you at home should try.
Well, he'll be disappointed with that. No, that's how the best in the world play it.
Well, it's a little lucky that it went in, but it was always going to be close.
This is the start of what some say is the toughest finishing stretch on the PGA towards known as the Green Mile. Frank, what makes it so challenging?
Well, this hole in particular, Rich, the dogleg right, it means it plays every inch of it's just over 500 yards. That bunker you can see down the right, 325 yards to carry that. If you can fly the ball that far, at least you can chew off 2/3 of this hole, and that is well required here. Otherwise, it's a long, long second shot.
Frank, this is all you want in a par 3, especially late in the round. To carry the water, you have to deal with the pressure. At 221 yards, this requires the player's very best. Oh, dude, that in the hole. Tremendous shot. Here we are, the 18th hole at Quail Hollow. Simply put, Frank, a player needs to hit maybe his best tee shot of the day.
I would agree with you, Rich. If you were to measure this hole from trees on the left to trees on the right, it's actually a really wide fairway or expansive land. But that creek that just meanders its way through the middle of this hole completely changes the nature of this hole. And consequently, You hit the nail on the head. If you don't hit a good tee shot, you will rack up something here.
Presented by EA Sports and the PGA Tour. And hello again and welcome, Rich Lerner, alongside my pal Frank Nobilo. We are here in the wonderful state of Georgia, getting ready to kick off the round at East Lake Golf Club.
And what a great course it is too, Rich. Normally a par 72 for the members, but seeing we're going to play off the pros tee today, the 5th and the 10th hole, which are normally par 5s, will be reduced to par 4s, so a very strict par of 70.
Let's take it down to the tee. Excited to call all the action today out on the course for you. So they'll tap in. Did the job right there. Already teed up here at the second.
A little bit downhill, Rich. Once again, check for that flag. The front flags are always difficult because chances are you're going to have a downhill putt. When that flag's on the left side of the green, though, beware of that bunker. That's a devilish bunker shot coming downhill away from the flag.
Routine stuff for Rory, that's a par. We talked about the good mix of holes to start here at East Lake, so coming off that par 3 second hole, now to the very short par 4 third, just the 390 yards, but really with all of the bunkers and the trees and this green, it's a tricky proposition. On the green, a chance for birdie. 1 under early in the round. To the 4th, 440 yards. Tough hole locations here today. Well, those are good numbers right there. 320, 320 yards. Just crushed it in the fairway. Safely aboard. Frank, this would be a nice way to jumpstart the round.
His momentum can quickly go in the right direction if he makes this.
Back on the tee here at East Lake, 5th hole, 520-yard par 4.
That's an absolute beauty.
Second shot now at the 5th here at East Lake. I mean, really on top of his game right now. That was a splendid approach shot. Frank, this would be huge.
Oh, it's got that strut going, everything. This is when that hole starts to look a little bit bigger. You really feel like you can start to make everything.
We all recognize this hole, the 6th, a par 3 over water, 209 yards. What a display of shot making this has been, Frank.
That incredible approach shot there. The easiest of birdies coming up.
Now at the 7th hole, Frank, what are we looking at?
A dog leg left, but really you have to hit that ball down the right side. The reason why, it's away from the bunkers, and it's a better angle to this elevated green.
Getting set for another approach. Our featured golfer really looks dialed in at this point.
Yeah, right now this is a great feeling to have as a golfer. Your swing's good, the timing, it's almost like it's just completely natural. You don't have to think. The swing is exactly where you want it to be. So really you're just looking at the flag in front of you.
Now -2 for the day. Frank, back-to-back dog legs to the left as we step on the tee here at the 8th.
This one a little different to the 7th hole. This one's fairly flat, and also that fairway runs out on the right side. You can try and flash it across all the bunkers. There's no real advantage. You have to respect those bunkers. Should just leave you a sand iron, a wedge maximum in here. This is a good scoring opportunity, providing you hit the fairway.
Getting set now over the putt. Holding steady now at 2 under par. Here at the 9th hole, the first par 5 of the day, a long drive provides an opportunity to reach this green in 2, especially if the hole is playing downwind. Second shot will be either a mid to long iron layup short of a fairway bunker on the left, or a fairway wood try for the green in 2. That green is guarded in. How do you like that? Please hold it. Just a phenomenal play right there. Just a superb performance on the front side. He's able to keep it going here on the back nine, Frank.
The game is so much easier when you're swinging well, putts are going in. Really, you just got to keep out of your own way.
Not terrible, but not his best.
Yeah, outside chance really for birdie, but really it was a rather poor approach shot.
Missed putt and a drop shot here at the 10th. Hoping to drop only one shot, wish for bogey. Not too bad. He gives one back. Now at the only hole on the golf course that starts with a 1 at the beginning of the yardage. It's par 3 11th, just under 200 yards, 197.
It does play a little bit uphill, so you might as well say it's 200 yards plus. Narrow entry into this green. Looks can be deceiving. This hole looks like a pushover, but stray a little left, stray a little right, and then you're sort of pitching across the green with a lot of tilt in it.
200 par for the round. On to the 12th hole here at East Lake. It is relatively short, just 391 yards, but there is a bit of trouble. Frank had hit the green, but just didn't have enough backspin.
Yeah, you wonder what he's thinking on that. Great shot out of the rough. He avoided all the troubles just to get that on the green.
That was not an easy shot. He'll settle. Okay, no problem with that one. Now at the par 4 13th, and this one is all you want. Good, challenging tee shot, and then you need to put the ball in the right spot on the green. It slopes from back to front. And this one will require a player to be dialed in. Birdie try up next. Shouldn't be a problem here, but not a formality either. Well, that would have been a bonus had it gone in, but still, reasonable chance for par here.
Yeah, there's no damage. You're not going to birdie every hole.
Tough break.
At the 14th now, 442-yard par 4 goes downhill.
You have to hit the ball down the left side of the fairway, Rich, because everything slopes to the rough on the right. Ball hangs up on the left side.
Oh my goodness, he just made it. I cannot believe it.
I was thinking he might get it close. In? Just a great shot.
That's a good spot right there.
Center cut.
He has given this one the full treatment. Perfect release through the ball, and this shot is on the fairway, over 300 yards. Might want to check the GPS on a putt this long. Yeah, that's a good putt right there. From that distance, he'll settle. Rory McIlroy looking to take advantage with this putt. Drops another birdie and moves to 4 under on the day. This picturesque hole providing a commanding view of the Atlanta skyline and East Lake Golf Club. The fairway narrows to 25 yards in width, 278 yards from the tee, making driving accuracy a premium on this long par 4. From here, a mid to long iron is needed to reach the green. 2 large bunkers await errant approaches into a large receptive green that slopes yet again from back to front. In for par, and will sit tight at 4 under. Just 2 holes left here at East Lake. Frank, we have another par 4 set at 455 yards. Didn't hit it in there tight, but still with a good chance.
Yeah, if that's his worst shot at the end of the day, then I still think he's played well.
And it makes the green in regulation. Nudge this one home, finish it up. That is a handful. 5 birdies now for the round. What a day. The 18th hole here at East Lake is a par 3, 235 yards to the green. He's knocked it on the green, but not in a great position. This is a difficult chance coming up here. Long birdie try. You don't want to let this one get away. This is about concentration and focus at this point. Very solid performance today, a round of 66. Frank, that was an impressive round out there today.
Couldn't agree more, Rich. We've seen some great shots out there, and I'm excited to see how the rest of the
This is EA Sports coverage of the PGA Tour. Well, just a slight breeze coming out of the northwest. Under clear skies, temperatures in the mid-70s. Really an ideal day for golf. Rich Loader alongside Frank Nobilo for EA Sports, getting set for all the action this afternoon. Frank, what are you looking for?
I'm looking for good driving today. I mean, we've got some powerful players in this field. If you tee it up and high and let it fly, then all of a sudden, this could be the day to go low.
Locked in on the read and the speed. That's a birdie for McIlroy. He's just so explosive. Teed up here at the par 4 second. Frank, what do players need to look out for off the tee?
This hole has been lengthened in 2014, some 30-plus yards. Bunkering down the right has also changed, making this drive a little bit more important now.
That is a tremendous shot right there. Touch, nerve, not at all. He makes a great pass at the golf ball. It's powerful and it's rhythmic at the same time. Frankie could make eagle right here with a really good approach shot.
Yeah, well within his reach, too. And Rich, we just sit back and relax here. I think we're going to see perhaps a very good look at eagle coming up.
Really nice mix of holes to start here at TPC Scottsdale. The 2 4s and then the par 5. Now our first par 3. Just a little over 180 yards, Frank.
Plays a little downhill, longer than what it once was. Green is radically different. Used to be deep, now it's wide. And the bunkering, of course, is visually totally different from what it used to be.
Did the job right there. Now to the 5th hole and a challenging par 4.
Slightly longer this year. Played off a new tee at the back, and there used to be 2 bunkers down the right side. They've now been put together to form one, and in the perfect position.
What a shot right there. Beautiful done. Par 4 6th, and Frank, a couple of options here.
The hole that bends to the left is always the preferred shot off the tee. The longer hitters will have a big advantage. They'll be able to get it down there and just have a pitch or a short wedge into this. If you're not, that long, then you're going to have to lay it back short of those bunkers. That's going to leave a lengthy second shot.
Starting to put up some really impressive numbers. 8 under par with yet another birdie. Frank, where's the difficulty here on the 7th hole, the par 3 of more than 200 yards?
Well, Rich, front hole locations are always probably the toughest here because that's the narrowest part of the green. Bunkering really hasn't changed, and the green still does widen up, but the hole tends to play slightly uphill.
This is a good hole, Frank, the par 4 8th.
Yet another dogleg left, Rich, on the front side. And it's a sharper dogleg now because they've put in 2 bunkers down the left side. It used to be a bailout area for the players in the past. You can't do that anymore. And I doubt anybody can fly it over that left one. It's nearly 340 yards to carry that in the air. Those 2 bunkers have forced the players to go out to the right, making that second shot a little bit longer now.
Well, they claim it's a reachable par 4. We haven't seen a whole lot of people do it today. We just saw it right there. Well done. Looks like he just misread that.
See if he can just make one more add to the list.
Well, in the words of the late, great baseball commentator for the Yankees, Phil Rizzuto, it's time for holy cow, Whitey. That's 11 under par. That was just a gutsy shot right there, and a good look at eagle coming up. Settles in over the putt. So close, just a tap in from there.
Rich, I'm starting to lose count. This is just birdie after birdie.
It's all-time stuff. I mean, this is territory we just don't visit very often. That is tasty looking right there, Frank. Just a perfect spot in the fairway.
That is prime real estate. How do you get a lie like that? Seriously, you could hit any club from there.
Superb shot.
That's as good as it's going to get. There's going to be no worries about making that one.
Just an amazing display. The records continue to fall. Par 3 12 may not be as famous as the par 3 16th, but Frank, you think this may be a tougher and even better hole?
We see more bogeys and double bogeys here on 12 than 16 will ever see, and courtesy of the water behind and to the right of the screen. If you're going to bail out, find one of those bunkers. A good bunker player obviously can get it up and down, but it's still no snack trying to record your par 3 at 12.
That's an absolute tracer right there. In the fairway and well over 320 yards. Can't hide the flagstick from that one. Another one inside 5 feet. Par 4 14th, Frank. It seems as though you'd be pretty happy with a par.
You would, even though the putting surfaces here at TPC Scottsdale are excellent. It's going to take 2 good shots to reach this 14th hole. You can get in a little bit of trouble off the tee. That bunker on the left very much in play. The rough on the right side is no snack either because the ball, more often than not, will finish well above the player's feet. And, of course, that green is very, very narrow, well protected by bunkers on the left.
Now at the par 5 15th, and Frank, there is plenty to catch your eye. There's also quite a bit to catch your ear. You can hear the roars at the par 3 16th. So how do you focus on the task at hand?
Great question, Rich. You know, you realize you're about to enter the stadium part of the golf course. but this is the last par 5 that you're going to play. We've seen eagles here over the years. We've seen many a player hit it in the water off the tee or water short of the green. Certainly one of the tougher tee shots coming in. No bunkers here to worry about, just that huge lake to the left. Find the fairway. You might just find the green.
Wow, Frank, he is dialed in.
Yeah, that was just some shot on there. Easy birdie.
It's a big putt right here. A birdie.
He really has it going now. Back-to-back birdies. Frank, 16 was fun. 17 is always exciting here at TPC Scottsdale.
You've got to be careful because that water that sort of goes around the left side of the green, if that ball's coming in with a little bit of hook, it's just going to keep going left. There's the one bunker you really have to focus on. That's the one in the middle of the fairway. 280 will carry that. Chances are the ball can run onto the green. It takes a brave man really to try and fly this ball all the way there. It's not really needed because there's always another 10 or 15 yards of run. Factor that in.
Drivable par 4, not for most in this field, but for this guy, yes, he has just knocked it on. What a shot. No way. He holed it, Frank.
Great pitch shot.
Really good round out there today. What's the mindset, Frank, to keep it going?
First thing, really, Rich, just try and keep the same composure for tomorrow's round.
This is EA Sports PGA Tour coverage coming up next. Well, it's truly a pleasure to be in the beautiful Pacific Northwest. We're in University Place, Washington, and the golf course is relatively new to golf fans, Chambers Bay, and what a magnificent-looking golf course.
And it's building up quite a reputation very, very quickly, and the reason why, well-designed, good test for any level of play. There's enough options out there, enough long holes, enough short holes. So pick your poison, really, but make sure you're on your game because Chambers Bay, it'll test anyone to the limit.
It's nice to roll in a 25-footer now and then. Those feel good. But still, there's nothing like hitting that perfect tee ball. Long, straight.
Yeah, you can puff out your chest, last to play, the advantage, holes shorter. Basically, the list goes on.
Solid par to remain 1 under. At the third tee now, Frank, and what are we staring at here?
This green is anything other than symmetrical, so be very, very cautious on where the flag is. Anything in the middle of the green you can putt to the corners. Well, if you can call them corners, more like ragtails, but beautiful par 3.
This one just requires a little bit of focus. You couldn't ask for much more than that, except to make it. Even par early on. Frank, standing here on the 4th tee at Chambers Bay, you can see what this golf course is all about with those dunes on the left and all that sand down on the right. A lot of trouble here.
Yeah, first hole, Rich, really that bends to the right, but if anything, you want to keep the tee shot down the left side. It's going to give you a better angle to the green. And unlike the 2 previous holes, this fairway slopes to the other direction, to the right.
Oh, you can see the frustration. Almost kicked his putter head right there with a drop shot here at the 4th. Wow, he got robbed, Frank.
No, it's like kissing your mother-in-law.
So, 2 over par for the round. Well, Frank, here at the 5th, and I'm not sure about my chances at a hole that's called free fall. I mean, are you kidding?
Well, it should be free fall for you, that's for sure, and free fall for a lot of people playing it today. Hole looks straight away, but you see it starts to pinch in, that fairway, that is, by bunkers left and right, and those bunkers come in exactly where you're trying to hit your tee shot.
So, 1 over par for the round. Frank, now at the 6th, this appears to be a testing par 4 long one.
It is, but once again, a generous fairway. Just use those mounds down the left as an indicator on your line. Hole bends a little bit to the right. Good tee shot, though, and everything is in front of you.
Frank going for another birdie here.
Just to get on a real roll.
Frank, this is a daunting challenge. The 7th hole, long par 4. It's over 500 yards.
And a huge bunker down the right side that probably runs for a good 200-300 yards. Obviously, that's to be avoided. And then, of course, there's the mounds and the hammocks and the dunes and that on the left side. That's the reason, really, why this hole's called Humpback. But then a little bit like the golf course, there's only one greenside bunker to be worried about, but enough green left of that. Oh, that even caught me by surprise, Rich. I thought par was in the bag.
This now for bogey. Well, it was bound to come to an end at some point. Drops just one shot after that terrific stretch of birdies. Well, those are good numbers right there. 3-2-0, 320 yards. Just crushed it in the fairway. Well on the green, but far from the hole.
Yeah, a little bit of a head scratcher. A lot of work coming up here. Really. This is an awkward length.
And this will be a 5-foot putt here. One over for the day. Finishing up our front side here at the 9th, it's a par 3. And Frank, how would you describe this hole?
Well, it's an absolute stunner, really, because of the views. And this is where you realize that links golf, minus trees and minus some of the things we see on other golf courses, can still look absolutely beautiful. But don't look at the scenery too much, because you've got, well over 200 yards here. Even though it's elevated, it still requires a good tee shot. But a little 2 here, and you might just have yourself a good outward 9.
That was like Usain Bolt, Frank, right through the tape.
Yeah, that first step, that was never going to stop.
Early part of this second 9, a good approach shot. Now, pretty good chance for birdie. Well, that would have been a bonus had it gone in, but still, reasonable chance for par here.
Yeah, there's no damage, and you're not going to birdie every hole.
Well, here we are at the 11th. Frank, this is a brutally long par 4.
And a little bit blind, too. There's that big dune in the middle of the fairway, and it's sort of a bit daunting. You're not quite sure what's behind that. Well, what is behind that is actually fairway. And just carry it over there. That'll certainly shorten the hole up. And then from there, it's a little bit of a dogleg to the right.
The 12th here at Chambers Bay is known as the Narrows. What's the play here, Frank?
2, really. You could just sort of iron it down there, have a little wedge or a pitch in there with no sweat whatsoever. Or, if you want to have a little bit of fun, if you can drive it over that bunker that's just short left of this green, you might just putt for one.
That's a birdie from McIlroy. He's just so explosive. 13th hole now, it's a dogleg right, par 4. Frank?
But at 534 yards, you need an eagle eye, which is the name of the hole, to find exactly where you want to hit this. Doglegs to the right. There is a fairway that's plenty wide to accept a good tee shot. And then from there on in, it's actually a relatively straightforward second shot, providing you can miss that bunker that's just short in the middle of the green.
That's a par, and that keeps the scorecard clean, still even for the round. Frank, that is position A.
Yeah, tee shot was like silk, Rich. I mean, just sets up that second shot so beautifully.
That will be a great look at birdie. Locked in on the read and the speed. Oh my goodness, how did he miss that? Not a gimme, but well within his range. And he makes it for par. At last, Frank, a break from those long par 4s. We just played 5 par 4s in a row. Now the par 3 15.
And also, as you can see in the distance, you can actually see a tree, one of the few that are on the golf course. Hence the name of 15. It's called Lone Fir. Not overly long, just a little short hole. But in the US Open, obviously they can play it at around 250 yards. It's just a fun par 3. But check where that flag is, because sometimes 3 is a good score here. But an easy flag position, and then go straight at it.
Oh my goodness, that is on in 1. Wow, what an incredible shot. This from 7 feet.
A lip out's fine, as long as it doesn't happen to you.
So they'll tap in. Did the job right there. Just 2 holes left to play. Now a par 3, the 17th, 218 yards and all sorts of trouble, Frank, down that right.
Well, if you weren't beached at 16th, there's a chance you can be derailed, which is what this hole's called, at 17. Difficult par 3. You can see the bunker there in front, and once again, wind conditions. This is going to probably require one of the best tee shots, especially in the closing stages of the US Open.
He just blasted that one down the fairway, out there about 325 yards. Well, he's going to have to hit the same club a lot harder or just hit another one.
Even par.
Well, there you go, 68 for the day. Well, Frank, what a day. Dramatic views and some great golf as well here at Chambers Bay.
You can see why this is considered a true links golf course, even though it's that far
Coverage coming your way is presented by EA Sports and the PGA Tour. Hello again and welcome. Rich Loader alongside Frank Nobilo. We're at Whistling Straits along Lake Michigan, Kohler, Wisconsin. And this golf course was first established in 1998. Frank, what are some of the perfect and in the hole? Shot. Ready to tee off at this magnificent second hole. Frank, all I see are bunkers and water.
Well, that's pretty much what everybody else is going to see as well. Ideally, hit it down the left, though, and then you don't have a blind second shot. Even though you can be on the fairway on the right side, well, you won't see the green.
Frank, I'm not saying he should pull out driver here, but this is a long putt.
Greens are fast, though. You never know. Good line, good pace. Might have a chance.
Now the stunning 188-yard par 3 third here at Whistling Straits.
Yeah, the green angle's to the left. You have to be careful because it's well protected by those huge bunkers and dunes on the left.
Frank, this would be a nice way to jumpstart the round.
Yeah, his momentum can quickly go in the right direction if he makes this.
Has to feel good at 3 under par in the early going. Frank, this is a big hole right here. The fourth, it is almost 500 yards, par 4.
And you can see the bunkers and the mounding down the right side. Believe it or not, that's actually where you should aim your tee shot and just let the contours move that ball towards the middle of the fairway.
Well, that is an exceptional shot on the green and in position for a birdie.
Yeah, it's formality now.
Frank, you've played all over the world. How unique is this hole, the fifth?
I've never really seen anything quite like this. On one hand, it's an extremely long par 5, but then on the other hand, you have all these options that are available.
Well, that's how you play the game. Right there. 6 under par. Frank, how do you like this par 4 sixth hole, a little more than 400 yards?
Really, you try not to overthink this one. Just find some fairway down there around the 280, 300-yard mark. And then
no putter, no putter. Spins that into the cup. What an interesting par 3 this is. The seventh is 221 yards. There is trouble to the right, and it is nicknamed Shipwreck.
I think those people that decide to go straight at the flag, then that's where they will pay a high price. There's nothing wrong with being a little left of the flag here.
That's costly right there.
Painful.
Just an amazing display. The records continue to fall. Frank, check out all the bunkers on the right.
I can't count them on one hand, that's for sure. Just another example of how Pete Dye has just has gone to work in the way in which he's protected these holes.
These putts keep the round together. Come on, don't do that.
Cruel lip out.
Trying to move on with a par in his pocket. Good work right there. He'll settle for par. Frank, what about this downhill shot off the tee and the idea that you just want to sort of let that ball run toward the green down the hill?
Well, Pete Dye just gives you so many different looks throughout the front 9 of Whistling Straits, and this really is the first example of this, plus the swirling winds that are created by the sort of tree and mounding on the right of this one. That's spectacular. It was almost like that's what he wanted to do, but why would you want it to run over the back?
Second shot. Without a shot, that will be on the highlight reel later tonight. Second shot. Well, Frank, the 11th here at Whistling Straits is a monster par 5. They call it sandbox, but it is not exactly child play, is it?
I can't actually count the number of bunkers on this hole. Plus, it's a dog leg to the right. 645 yards. I don't care whichever way you cut it down. That's going to be 3 good shots. Forces you to hit driver off this tee.
12 under on the day. Frank, the previous hole, we took out the sledgehammer. Now at the 12th, you'll need a scalpel, it looks like.
Yeah, at 163 yards, you wouldn't think it's very long. But really, the problem is the green. You can pitch the ball in the middle of the screen, and still it can kick over. So be very, very aware of the mounding and the undulations on this green.
Oh, man.
I just pushed it.
That hurts. Continuing to putt with confidence. On to the 13th, and this par 4, Frank, they lovingly call cliffhanger. How do you deal with these 402 yards, Frank?
Really, you got to pick a spot down the left side. Even where the rough isn't really such a bad line. Keep it down there, let everything kick to the right, but you have to avoid missing right here.
Frank, just into that first cut.
Yeah, it's sitting up. Really, this isn't too bad a situation.
Good putt. Now the par 4, 14th, and Frank, this is not about brute strength, is it?
A bit of a head scratcher here. When you first look at it, you think you just pull out the driver. but it narrows up in the driving area. So really it's a layup off the tee, just a short iron in from there.
The 15th now and a 503-yard par 4 here at Whistling Straits.
Well, it's certainly beautiful to look at, but tough to play. Bunkered once again left and right, but it's a hole that you have to hit a driver down here, just purely because of the length of the hole.
Superb shot.
That's as good as it's going to get. There's going to be no worries about making that one.
Frank, as you know, the finishing holes of a major championship can make even the world's #1 player buckle under the pressure. How do you avoid that?
Well, with a good drive to start here, there's a series of bunkers that start about 300 yards down the right side. You'd like to start your tee shot on those and maybe work it back towards the fairway to get a little bit more run and make this hole reachable.
5 birdies for the day. What a performance. 17th now, and if you have a club that goes 250 yards on a good line, bust it out right now.
And if anything, you want to aim it just ahead of the right. It pays to be a little cautious here because of that mound on the left. It goes down some 20 feet below the level of the green.
Those keep the round going, those par putts. Well, it's pretty simple. You want to put your name alongside the likes of Vijay Singh, Martin Keimer, men who've won PGA championships right here at Whistling Straits. Then you need to knuckle down and make something happen at this final hole.
Yeah, par to win might be easy to say, but on a hole like this, 520 yards, it's hard to do.
Speed wasn't bad on that long putt, but the read wasn't very good. Almost. Wow. Clean this up with a tap. Frank, I have to say, I've been impressed by the level of golf today. Really came out here with a solid game plan and executed.
And consequently, a very solid round, continuing with
EA Sports is proud to present PGA Tour coverage. Frank, amazing. They've been playing golf on these hallowed links lands since the 15th century.
and hopefully they'll play for many and more a year because every...
Frank, we've all been there. You hit one in the water, you're down. How do you regroup?
You've got to start from scratch again. Everybody's going to hit bad shots. That's just the nature of the game. But compounding mistakes, that's the problem that you want to avoid.
So this will be the 3rd shot after taking the drop with the ball going in the water. That is tasty looking right there, Frank. Just a perfect spot in the fairway.
That is prime real estate. How do you get a lie like that? Seriously, you could hit any club from there.
Wow, Frank, he is dialed in.
Yeah, that was just some shot on that. Easy birdie.
1 under early in the round. On the tee box here at the 3rd now. Frank, all of these holes look relatively straightforward. Can a golfer get lured in kind of a false sense of security off the tee here at the old course?
No, well, you can. This hole, the 3rd hole, even shorter than the 2nd, so reachable. But a lot of people tend to bail out towards the left. That's the middle of the golf course. And that leaves you a devilish little pitch or short wedge across that big gaping bunker that protects both the 3rd and the 15th green. So once again, want to drive the ball down the right side, but there's a series of pot bunkers there.
That is massive off the tee.
Meters, yards, I don't care how you measure that. That's got to be what? 300 meters, 325 yards, something like that.
That will be a great look at birdie. Just needs to keep it steady here over the putt. Good try, just didn't quite read the break, Frank.
It shouldn't be a problem, you think, cleaning up here for par.
Par for McIlroy, but you're just waiting for that moment when he hits that accelerator and pulls away. He just blasted that one down the fairway. Out there about 325 yards. Let's see what McIlroy does now with his 2nd. Oh, can't hide the flagstick from that man. And with that putt, he moved to 3 under. Moving on to the par 4 6th hole here at the 5th place of golf. This hole shares a green actually with the 12th. How do you work your way around this hole, Frank?
Some sort of tee shot. 3 bunkers that look like they're in the left center of the fairway and a series of bunkers down the right. So somehow dissect those and then you set yourself up to a green with a false front.
Frank had hit the green, but just didn't have enough backspin.
So you wonder what he's thinking on that.
Putting all of his talents on display here from the rough, and he knocks it really close. Beautiful shot. Frank, now at the par 3 8th, and how challenging is this hole?
Well, it's called short on the scorecard, but massive green. The problem here is trying to hit it close. A lot of little subtle breaks and undulations.
Sinks it. Unbelievable. And Frank, the Open Championship coming back to the home of golf this summer.
Yeah, and remember, too, the last time it was here, Louis Oosthuizen at the 9th hole, he had no problem driving this par 4. So let's see if we can do the same. If you can carry that last bunker down there, there's every chance that your tee shot can run into the very flat corner.
Just a superb performance on the front side. He's hoping to keep it going here on the back nine, Frank.
The game is so much easier when you're swinging well, putts are going in. Really, you've just got to keep out of your own way. Great, too. Beautiful.
Frank, number 11 even is really one of the more fascinating holes in all of golf.
The two bunkers that the players normally worry about, Strath bunker in the front and the hill bunker to the left. What makes those two bunkers so difficult is the steepness of the faces in it.
Just a couple of feet. 11 under on the day. Frank, from this vantage point here at the 12th, you can see why the old course, St. Andrews, are so iconic in the sport.
Yeah, this is a fun hole as we start to sort of head back to the village of St. Andrews. Hole's called Heathery. There's a big crop of heather on the left, and there's 4 little pot bunkers that are in the middle of this fairway, so you've really got to be cognizant of those. But good time to take the head cover off if you're a long hitter, and then you've only got to worry about that one pot bunker just short of the green.
Moving on now to the par 4 13th. Frank, what's the strategy here?
Once again, to avoid those pot bunkers, the first one is called Nicks, and then the other two up ahead, once again, they're called the Coffins. Somehow you've got to go right or left of those or beyond those. If you can go in the exact right position, which is slightly left center, you will actually have a full view of this green. Left or right of that, then it's a blind second shot.
This one just requires a little bit of focus. Has it? Frank, what are we looking at here at the big par 5 14?
Out of bounds on the right, and those little series of pot bunkers called the birdies. Now, if you get in trouble here, you can bail out with your second shot down the left, which is the 4th fairway. That's one other option of playing this par 5. But a good tee shot, and you can certainly go at this for 2.
Well, you couldn't ask for much more than that, except to make it. Nicely holed. Fourth birdie of the day. Frank, one of the things I always loved about links golf is that you're not aiming at a flagstick or a tree, but sometimes you're aiming for a steeple in the distance, and this is a good example here at the 15th.
Yeah, the church steeple is the exact line off the tee. That gives you sort of the center of the fairway. Really, you don't have to be overly bold off the tee. This is about just finding a nice flat lie for that second shot. This is another difficult green that's well protected by just one little bunker that's in the front left that you don't think comes into play, but if your second shot doesn't land the right distance, more often than not, this gets swallowed up.
Really sad strike.
Frank, this is sort of bizarre. You're standing on the tee at the road hole, one of the most famous par 4s in the sport, and you're aiming for a hotel?
Well, you're aiming over a series of letters that say the Old Course Hotel. If you can hit it exactly over that U, then you will be in the right place, which hopefully is down the middle of the fairway. You avoid that header on the left. That bunker up ahead, the road hole bunker, remember David Duval, he got stuck in there. Years ago, Tommy Nakajima, he could hardly ever get that ball out, and in the end succumbed, I think, to double figures. So the hole has more than one way to trap you, so stay away from the road and the road.
Shouldn't be a problem here, but not a formality either. 4th par. Just an amazing display. The records continue to fall. Frank, they gave us a great show today.
No, they certainly did. Course played well. You got what you deserved out there.
Some outstanding performances, and for our entire team. Today's coverage brought to you by EA Sports and the PGA Tour. Rich Lerner alongside Frank Nobilo. Always a treat to be in Scotland, Frank, and at one of the oldest golf clubs in the world, Royal Troon.
It's getting close to 150 years old. It was first established all the way back in 1878. Actually, the original golf course only had 5 holes on it. But over the Open Championship roster, this has probably been the most successful, or provided the most success to American players. The last 6 Open Championship winners were all American.
Has one of the most famous holes in all of major championship golf, the 123-yard par 3 8th. It's known as the postage stamp, and one of the legends had a really nice moment there many years ago.
The late Gene Sarazen, the Squire, he had a little ace there, all televised too, and it was a great way to remember his phenomenal career.
Back to the tee box here on hole number 3, and there are a few club selection decisions that come into play on this first shot, Frank.
There is. The reason why, there's a burn that cuts through from the 16th hole all the way across the golf course through the middle of the 3rd. And that stops, or should I say starts, at about 285 yards. That really has to be at the forefront of your mind.
It's a dogleg right, par 5, the 4th hole. Can you cut the corner here, Frank?
Well, you don't have to. There is a bunker down the right side that's going to take at least 280 yards to get past that. You can also cut it around there and sort of follow the shape of the hole.
Well, that's how you play the game, right there. And he's setting now over the putt. Nice solid start to the round. Tee to green looks to be in command.
Yeah, it's surprising. I thought he might have been a little shaky out of the gate, but certainly proved me wrong.
From 135 yards out, terrific golf shot. And now that for an easy birdie. Frank, this is the way you draw it up. This is how the game's supposed to be played.
Yeah, so far everything going according to plan.
Moving on to hole number 6 here at Royal Troon. Frank, what are the golfers facing at this long par 5?
Well, you've got to attack this hole in chunks, Rich. Just allow the mounding on the right to kick the ball forward, then try and position that second shot. Keep well away from that top bunker that's a little bit short, about 30 yards right and short of this green. That is the one that causes the problem. That's an absolute beauty.
Setting up for the approach, this player in total command.
Yeah, it's beautiful. The decision-making, club selection's been spot on, but the execution, the swing, is really what I'm admiring right now.
And this is where Gene Sarazen, the Squire at the age of 71, in his farewell appearance at the Open, that was back in 1973, made an ace. How about that?
Amazing.
These putts keep the round together. Those keep the round going, those par putts. Ready to go here at the 9th at Royal Troon Golf Club. 423 yards. What are you looking to do with this one, Frank?
Well, it's another one that's a dogleg left. It's called the Monk, actually, because it faces the village of Monktown. One bunker on the left, 285 yards to carry that, but it's not that you're trying to carry it, it's you're trying to cut the ball off that.
Well, that was a nearly flawless performance on the front side, but Frank, we know it's an 18-hole game, isn't it?
That's right. Now's not the time to pat yourself on the back.
You can't hide the flagstick from that man.
He is just unbelievable. That never deviated offline.
Nudge this one home, finish it up. That's a birdie for McIlroy. He's just so explosive. Frank, they call the 11th hole here at Royal Troon Railway. Maybe I'm being negative, but I think it should be called course because that's all I can see on this opening shot.
Gorse certainly comes into play right and left. The problem isn't bunkers here. At 490 yards, often it plays back into the breeze.
10 under par on the day. Back here on the bonny shores of Scotland at Royal Troon Golf Club with just a wee breeze, as they say over here, Frank. On the tee at the 12th.
The hole that bends to the right, Gorse right and left. There's a bit of a mound and rough down the right side. That has to be avoided.
This would be nice. 30 on the par. Frank beginning to head towards home. This is the 13th of par 4.
Another dogleg right. The problem isn't really the tee shot here, even though there's undulations and mounds all over the fairway. Second shot's played uphill to an elevated green. Great shot out of the rough. He avoided all the troubles just to get that on the green.
That was not an easy shot. He'll settle. On the tee here at 14, it's another par 3, Frank.
You don't get caught looking at the front of the green. That's where it's at its most narrow. Ideally, something that pitches just into the top of that mound.
Frankie seems to have found something. Already 2 birdies in a row and now another chance.
It's all starting to flow here. This is really important. He's starting to play well, so finish it off here for 3 in a row.
Nice long tee shot there and a good lie, Frank. Frank, this is a position where a player is absolutely licking his chops here. Good chance to make a birdie.
Yeah, this is when this game just looks like fun. Bunkers don't seem to be in play. The only thing you're really looking at right now is just the flag.
Good putt. Frank, here's the only par 5 on the back 9 at Royal Troon.
You'd think at 542 yards it would be reachable, but the burn that cuts across really limits the tee shot to about 280 yards. So it's very much about placing that second shot in a good distance for your third.
In the 1997 Open Championship here at Royal Troon, you played with Tiger Woods in the 3rd round. What did you do at this 16th hole?
He hit a driver for a second shot into a head breeze from about 270 yards. Managed to get it on the green. Then knocked it in from about 45 feet for eagle.
You knew he was something special back then, didn't you?
Yeah, he was the only one that even tried that shot.
Finally, the 18th at Royal Troon. History, skill, nerves, bunkers, of course, and the clubhouse. Frank, they all come into play on this final hole.
Yeah, 3 bunkers down the left. It's not a case of hitting past those, it's avoiding them. And then if you avoid it too far to the right, there's one nicely placed about 300 yards off the tee that'll catch you there. So there's somehow you've got to craft a tee shot to miss all 4 of those bunkers.
EA Sports is proud to present today's PGA Tour coverage. We are at one of the most famous venues in all of golf. It is the stadium course at TPC Sawgrass. You know it well, the famous Island 17th. Rich Lerter alongside Frank Novelo, and it has really grown in stature through the years, hasn't it, Frank?
It has. I think people have got to know the venue, the various holes, and actually on that subject, 17, which you've already just referenced. Remember, this is the one hole on this golf course that was designed by, not Pete, but his wife Alex. They'd designed 17 holes, but they needed one more, and they tried to fit one in between 16 and 18. And Pete Dye, when he was talking to his wife, said, I'm stuck. And his wife said, why not just put one out there, a little island green? Pete Dye said it would never work. In this situation, Alice was right.
Alice, a great player in her own right, an amateur champion. This is the home not only to the Players' Championship, but also headquarters to the PGA Tour. Frank, how difficult is it to access the hole location if you miss the fairway here at 4?
Well, if you miss it left, I've got to say the lesser of 2 evils is to be in the bunker on the right.
That is just an outstanding shot right there. And now a chance for an eagle. Dropping like dominoes out here. 6 under par, another birdie. 5th hole, good par 4, isn't it, Frank?
If ever a hole was built for Lee Trevino, who used to love to cut it, this would be the hole. It just looks and screams for a shot that's hit left to right. And that's the only way really to avoid bunkers left and long, and that one that's all the way down the right side.
Standing over this putt, concentrating on the read. Well, you can see it there. Feels very good about what he's doing. That's a nice par putt. Stays at 6 under. Seems to like it. Looks like it's headed for the green. Big swing right there. A great result. And now a chance for a big swing of momentum with a meter coming up. Wow, that is a monster drive down there. About 315 yards. Setting up for another approach, our featured golfer has continued that excellent play from earlier in the round.
Indeed, there's no better feeling in the world than when you know you're firing on all cylinders. Hitting fairways, second shot's just going straight at the flag. Right now, everything is working.
Appears to be a smart shot, Frank.
Yeah, no problem here. That's going to fly all the way.
You may have lost track at home, but we're keeping count. And that is 9 under for the day. Frank, now at the 9th, this really is one of my favorite par 5s in the entire sport.
And I certainly enjoy watching people play it today, Rich. It used to be unreachable, but the longer hitters now, we're starting to see them go for this par 5 regularly in 2. And the reason why they start to hit the drive more down the right now than what they used to. People used to try and go down the left side. The right side, it hugs the water, but you get a better view of the second shot.
Excellent front side, trying to keep it going here on the second 9.
He's just playing beautifully, hitting so many good shots, giving himself so many opportunities. Can he keep it going? It's that sneaky distance.
Frank, 2 is nice, but
3 is even better.
did the job right there. Hole number 11, 558 yard, par 5. Frank, players in attack mode here.
Yeah, just try and blitz it down there. There are other bunkers on the left to consider, but really, with that much fairway, this is a green light opportunity.
Well, that was a big, bold strike, and now a chance for a big, bold move. Putt for eagle coming up. Very well done. Almost made it.
Yep, there'll be no stress for the next one.
Down to the par 4 12th, and it's a pretty short hole, Frank.
Yeah, Pete Dye often doesn't get enough credit for his short par 4s. This is a great example where one of the features of it is the blind second shot, just to give you a little bit of doubt on driving the distance.
Oh, he's done it. That's an eagle right there. Tremendous effort. Really good distance control there, playing well to his strengths. Not a gimme, but well within his range. Oh, man.
He just pushed it.
Oh, that hurts. Par for McIlroy, but you're just waiting for that moment when he hits that accelerator and pulls away. Good strike, good lie, good chance to attack the pin. Let's see what the dominant #1 player can do. Rory McIlroy now on the approach shot. Been pretty good all day from this distance, just trying to take care of business. Par bid here. Just an amazing display. The records continue to fall. Frank, the 15th hole certainly has the respect of the professionals.
But you're right, this is a positional hole where just keep the ball down the left center. You can't go too far, though, because you'll get blocked out or you'll run out of fairway. From there, it's really about knowing where the flag is, what position on the green, because this is another green that's not flat. If the second shot lands on the wrong portion of the green, it'll finish well away from the hole. That's an absolute beauty.
Let's see what McIlroy does now with his second. Oh, what a shot. Setting up for an eagle here. Rory McIlroy looking to take advantage with this putt. You have to make those from that distance. That hurts.
Rack up another one.
Through the years, Frank, there have been 6 aces here at 17.
But it's hard to imagine that the last one was back in 2002 by none other than the most interesting man in the game and probably the most interesting par 3 in the game.
Just singes the edge, Frank.
Yeah, but at least he's burning the edges. You know you're hitting good putts.
This has a good ring to it. -14. Now one of the more difficult holes in golf. The 18th here at Sawgrass, 462-yard par 4. In 2013, this hole averaged .39 strokes above par. What makes it so challenging, Frank?
Just that big body of water to the left of 18 here that's also shared to the right of 9. Not a single fairway bunker on this 18th hole. So really, lack of definition. It's so hard to find a target here.
This is EA Sports. PGA Tour coverage coming up next. Always nice to be in New England at this time of year at the TPC Boston in Massachusetts. We're about 25 miles south of Beantown, and this is a really good-looking golf course, Frank.
It is. It looks much older than what it is. It was first established just at the start of the new millennium, originally designed by Arnold Palmer. But it got that older look from Gil Hanse and Brad Faxon. But also, too, you know, if you reckon up a few points out there, or scores, should I say, remember Gillette Stadium, home of the Patriots, just down the road.
Frank, they renovated the par 5 second back in 2010. What'd they do to the hole, and how does it play now?
Well, they changed the green, especially the left side. There's a huge mound there now. It's still a driver off the tee, but before you could bail out on the left side, you can't bail out anymore. It's a devilish of a chip over that mound.
Those chocolate drop mounds give the course a really nice look.
Yeah, they just pop. And you can see them. You know that they're problematic.
Frank, you've talked about this sort of New England feel they gave this golf course when they remodeled it. This is a pretty good example here at the third hole.
Yeah, that stone wall behind just sort of makes the golf course look like it's been there forever. They have tweaked the green a little bit on that left side, created a little bit of a ridge. You can sort of play the ball off that if you know where you're going.
Frank, as a commentator, as a fan of the game, 3 words that I love in golf. Drivable, par 4, here we go.
Yeah, some might say risk reward. Just look at that bunker on the left at the front of the green, because that's a great place to miss if you're not going to drive this green. Elevator is just over the back right, but a par 4 that's definitely worth taking the head cover off.
Drivable par 4, not for most in this field, but for this guy, yes. Oh, what a bonus. Getting out the 6th, it is a tricky 465-yard par 4.
Yeah, hit it through the chute. Water comes into play a little bit down the left if you're a long hitter.
Frank couldn't ask for anything more.
Just the lie there, too. It is sitting up like it's teed up.
Good chance now for a birdie. That was an outstanding play.
Oh, it's almost a guarantee there after that shot.
This is a pretty sizable par 5 here, Frank, the 7th.
But it's reachable. There's some mounds down there. If you keep it down the right side, hopefully that tee shot can kick it a little forward. And then that green angled at about 45 degrees, very reachable.
Well, he'll be disappointed with that, no doubt.
Yeah, swing didn't quite look right on that one.
Playing his third here at the par 5. And he generates some momentum here at the 7th hole. This the birdie. And it goes to 9 under with another birdie. Down to par 3, 8. And Frank, what's the best way to go here?
Hit your best, and then you're looking at making 2.
Well, that's how you play the game, right there. Frank, this would jumpstart the round. The 3rd straight birdie.
Some good playing.
Hole number 9, Frank, 472 yards. Good par 4.
Yeah, if you blink, it'll catch you.
And that one rolls just into the rough.
Now you have to decide whether or not that ball's going to fly or not.
Frank, out of the rough, best to swing a little bit easier or get after it with all you have.
Well, a little bit in between. Obviously, it's going to require a little bit of strength to make sure that club keeps going through, but it's still the planning of the shot. Once again, check short. Is there anything I have to carry? And even remember, there's always the option of just simply pitching the ball down the fairway and taking your medicine.
Those are good numbers right there. 320, 320 yards. Just crushed it in the fairway. Birdie try up next. He can really get red hot for the putter. Let's see what McIlroy does. Well, in the words of the late, great baseball commentator for the Yankees, Phil Rizzuto, it's time for holy cow, Whitey. That's 11 under par. Stuffed it in there really close, and now just a tap in. Just needs to keep it steady here over the putt. Just a little tap in here. Routine stuff for Rory. That's a par. Moving on now to the 12th, and Frank, describe this hole for us.
Sneaky good par 4. It's long enough, you know, sort of that 450, 460 mark. Bends a little to the left. Really, you want to be in the middle of fairway here, because that second shot with the green just tilting towards the hazard. One of the toughest second shots you have on the golf course.
Wow, they're falling on the rain today. 8 birdies on the card. And another par 4 here at the 13th TPC Boston.
This is a slugger's paradise. Plays much longer than its 450 yards uphill. Big carry with the tee shot. That second shot's not exactly short either.
Just want to nestle this one down to within a couple of feet. These putts keep the round together. Well, that would have been a bonus had it gone in, but still, reasonable chance for par here.
Yeah, there's no damage. You're not going to birdie every hole.
In for par. Frank, the 14th, a shortish 495-yard hole.
Only because it's downhill. If you can get that ball running down the fairway, then it certainly sets up a good second shot into this stout par 4.
Second shot, good look at the green. That was just a gutsy shot right there, and a good look at Eagle coming up. Well, that was a bold effort at Eagle there, Frank.
Oh, you got to applaud him there. You're going for Eagle, there's no way you're going to leave it short.
Now with the par 4 15th, what do you think of this hole, Frank?
Oh, I love the strategy involved here. It's not just necessarily a driver off the tee. Smart play often comes on top here because it's a second shot hole.
Chance to get it close here, and it makes the green in regulation. Just a couple of feet. Frank, this is just a pleasure to watch. A player hitting all cylinders, top of his game.
Notice it's just flowing too. There's not a lot of deep analysis going through his mind. Just one step in front of the other. If your swing's there, you don't have to find it. If your putting stroke's there, you don't have to find it. Just let it happen.
Frankie seems to have found something. Already 2 birdies in a row and now another chance.
It's all starting to flow here. This is really important. He's starting to play well. So finish it off here for 3 in a row.
So the shot has landed. I'm not sure if it's on the mulch or in the mulch. Either way, it's in a little bit of trouble.
Yeah, he doesn't have much of a shot you left.
And it is not looking like a good lie. He'll need to be strong with this. Not enough on that one.
Yeah, just seemed to baby it.
In the green side bunker, Frank, little bit of a problem.
Another good swing, another good approach shot.
This to avoid a huge number. This is for bogey. Well, it was bound to come to an end at some point. Drops just 1 shot after that terrific stretch of birdies. That is tasty looking right there, Frank. Just a perfect spot in the fairway.
That is prime real estate. How do you get a lie like that? Seriously, you could hit any club from there.
Well, that was a big, bold strike, and now a chance for a big, bold move. Putt for eagle coming up. Locked in on the read and the speed. Didn't think this was possible, but 15 under par already. Well, Frank, that wraps up, as they say here in Boston, another wicked good round.
Yeah, maybe it's not the Yankees.
This is EA Sports, PGA Tour coverage coming your way. Welcome to the King's Palace, Arnold Palmer's Bay Hill Club and Lodge, Frank, right in the heart of Orlando, Florida.
Yeah, for so long it has been the showcase for Florida golf. Of course, the King's Palace, and it has produced many a great champion over the years.
What a shot. I mean, almost in. So we'll tap in. -1 and really going. Here at the 231-yard par 3 second, Frank, pretty good hole.
It certainly is, Rich. The carry on the right side's a little shorter, but if you're going to take it down the left side, you've got to fly that ball at least another 20 yards.
Frank going for another birdie here.
Just to get on a real roll.
Settles in over the putt. Steady, solid, and at 1 under par right now. Now at the par 4 third, Frank, this is a great golf hole.
It certainly is. Remember, the brain doesn't register don'ts. So aim right.
Always found this to be hard, Frank. You're seething, you're just fired up. You just knocked one out of bounds, and you have to kind of put it back together.
Yeah, this one better find the floor.
So playing the 3rd shot right now after having gone OB. Excellent drive right there, Frank.
Circa 310.
Let's see what McIlroy does now with his 2nd. And a chance for eagle after that perfectly played shot.
This is that awkward length.
That's a birdie for McIlroy. He's just so explosive. Frank, now to the 5th. What's the strategy here at this shorter par 4?
Well, if you want to flex your muscles, Rich, take it over that left bunker. With a little trailing breeze, you might even get close to the green.
All right, so green side bunker. What's he looking to do with this shot, Frank?
Well, really, you have to look at the amount of green you got to play with. You don't have to try and fly the ball right by the flag. Allow it to run. Plus, if you can get it to run like a putt, you never know. It might just go in.
Frank couldn't ask for anything more.
Just the lie there, too. It is sitting up like it's teed up.
Getting set for another approach. Our featured golfer really looks dialed in at this point.
Hey, right now, this is a great feeling to have as a golfer. Your swing's good, the timing, it's almost like it's just completely natural. You don't have to think. The swing is exactly where you want it to be. So really, you're just looking at the flag in front of you.
That was a solid strike and a good result. Came to the putt, excited to make birdie. Now, settle for par.
Yeah, a little change in the attitude right now. You've let one go. You've got to really knuckle down there and make sure you don't drop a shot. It's important this one goes in.
Well, those are good numbers right there. 320, 320 yards. Just crushed it in the fairway. That's a solid shot here into the 8th hole. And a Good chance now for another birdie. Shouldn't be a problem here.
Oh, that was nasty.
That's an outrage right there. I mean, if there's a high commission of golfdom, we need to consult them right now because it's just simply not fair, Frank. It's not.
I think the people above are frowning on the people below.
He has put himself in an excellent position with a beautiful tee shot. And now a good look at the green. Good chance now for a birdie. That was an outstanding play.
Oh, it's almost a guarantee there after that shot.
Dropping like dominoes out here. 6 under par. Another birdie. Excellent front side. Trying to keep it going here on the second nine.
He's just playing beautifully, hitting so many good shots, giving himself so many opportunities. Can he keep it going?
Chance for birdie after that beautiful shot. Just a little tap in here. Bang, bang, back-to-back birdies. Frank, 440-yard par 4 11th. You see that number on the card, you think, driver. Maybe not? Why?
Yeah, it's imperative you hit the fairway here, Rich. Water obviously in play left, 2 bunkers on the right. This is a second shot hole.
Wow, don't know how a player of this caliber misses it to the left that badly from that short a range. He has this attempt for par. Oh, man.
He just pushed it.
Oh, that hurts. Getting set now over the putt. Just an amazing display. The records continue to fall. Now to the par 5 12. Frank, how good of a scoring opportunity is this?
Well, anytime you get a par 5 at Bay Hill, got to take advantage of it.
Now the game's #1 player, Rory McIlroy, ready with his approach. Beautiful shot. That is tight.
Unbelievable. That is one to save for the rest of the round.
Moves to -8. At the par 4 13th now. This is a hole, Frank, that requires some smart club selection. What are the options here?
Yeah, very sneaky par 4. That bunker on the right is 250 yards or so off the tee. So you've either got a choice to play short of that or sneak it down the end, which is about 300 yards. But if you try and be bold here and miss the fairway, that second shot.
Frank, one of the things I like about Bay Hill is it requires you to hit clean, strong golf shots. And here's another case at the par 3 14th. It's more than 200 yards.
Another one, really, you've just got to play it through the air. You can't play this like an Open Championship run-up par 3. You must fly it onto the green.
Frank, deep in the round at the 15th, you need to maybe make something happen. How difficult is that with such a huge dog like here?
Once again, make sure you know the distance to carry the bunker or run out. You got to play to your strength.
Really well done. Just inside of 5 feet there. Just slides by.
Yeah, can't afford to miss too many of those out here today.
Did the job right there. We've seen guys through the years blow the tournament right on this hole.
Yeah, if you get a little too greedy here, you try and make...
Frank, they threw him a life vest. He's back on dry land.
And I hope this time he swings, he doesn't have the water wings on.
Third shot now after the last one found the deep blue.
Yeah, you can still minimize the damage here. It's only one bad shot that you got punished for. It's no snap, though.
Well, there's an opportunity wasted.
Just knock it in for a par and let's forget about this one. Golf is not about perfect, but it's going to hurt the cause.
Wow, Frank, he is dialed in.
Yeah, that was just some shot on there. Easy birdie.
Continues to amaze. Yet another birdie. And what a day it's been. Finishing hole at Bay Hill. Frank, how good is this 18?
Well, it's good because it makes you scratch your head. If you look at your score, your own personal score, and then fast forward, you've made a big mistake.
That's just downright embarrassing. On the putting surface, and then off on the fringe. Wow. Frank, always nice to test yourself at one of the game's great venues, the Bay Hill Club and Lodge. What a day.
Yeah, and you know you've played a...
This is EA Sports coverage of the PGA Tour. Well, take a look at this site, Wolf Creek Golf Club. It is for real. Frank, I've never seen anything quite like this as we get set to call it for EA Sports. I'm Rich Lerner behind the mic, and we welcome you to this site that opened up back in 2000. It's a part of 72 with some elevated tees. Frank, what does the player need to look out for here at Wolf Creek?
Well, everything. Try and keep your eyes on the fairways, though. That's the only green thing apart in this magnificent venue. It's hard to imagine you can play golf in this sort of area, but it's so well defined. Obviously, anything green is golf course, and left or right of that, you're going to find yourself in some problems. But really trying to judge all the elevation changes. Ball's going to fly a little bit further in the thin air, but it's amazing on the eye.
Frank going for another birdie here.
Just to get on a real roll.
Now on to the first of the short holes here at Wolf Creek. Uphill shot, Frank?
Yes, it's going to play a little longer because of that. Then it's 227 yards off the back tee. Hard to imagine you have a par 3 in amongst this desert. And really, that's all it is. Tee and green. There's not much in between. Well protected, as you can see by those bunkers. And this green a little smaller than what you'd like for a hole that's around that 230-yard mark.
383-yard fourth hole. Certainly not long, Frank, but there's plenty of trouble out there.
Yeah, this is very much a positional hole. This is not sort of tee it up with a driver and just rip it down and just find the fairway. You're going to have virtually just a short wedge, 9-iron really at the most into this green. And really, this is a good chance for a birdie. So 2 good shots, and you shouldn't be too far away.
This one just requires a little bit of focus. Stays at 1 under with that par. We're in the desert, partner. I need water.
You're going to get it here, Rich. Par 5 second hole's got a nice stream that runs down the left side, as well as cutting the fairway. There's a crop of some 3 bunkers down that right side. I want to avoid that, but Rich, this hole isn't too long. Under 500 yards, not even going to play that long, so very reachable.
Just a tap in to finish the hole. Has to like that one. Another birdie to get to 2 under par. Frank, here at the 6th, where are you looking to land the ball off the tee?
Got to be careful here for the longer hitters, Rich. Driver actually might be too much. That stream that we just saw at the par 5 fifth hole also comes across here. So something that lands short of that, which is in the vicinity of 280, 290 yards. That's the key. From there, well, you're not going to have too much more in, sort of 140, 150 yards in. It is a dogleg right, but find that fairway there. Second shot play, just a fraction uphill. And this green, it's got more humps and hollows in it. It's to be expected, though. This course is absolutely crazy.
So the eagle goes begging. Still has this for birdie.
So a tester from 4 feet.
That's a birdie for McIlroy. He's just so explosive. Frank, this is the kind of hole you like to drop a bag of balls and just have fun. Hit it all day long as if you were at the range. Unfortunately, you only get 1 crack, and you better be good. This is a tough hole.
Well, if you find the water, actually, you might get another one up there. It certainly is a tough hole, though, Rich. The stream going all the way down the left-hand side, and that wraps right around the left and behind the screen, makes that tee shot, well, it certainly makes you think about that tee shot while you're on the tee. Prudent play, aim for the right edge of the green. Nothing wrong if you just miss the green on the right, but miss the green by a yard on the left, you pay a very steep price.
See if he can give his round a real big boost. This putt is for eagle. Has it going 3 under for the round. Well, that was a nearly flawless performance on the front side, but Frank, we know it's an 18-hole game, isn't it?
That's right. Now's not the time to pat yourself on the back.
Frank, that is how it's done.
Yeah, take a grocery hole. That is a lesson in itself.
And now a chance for eagle. Frank, another really rugged hole. This is the par 3 11 here at Wolf Creek.
Well, Rich, remember that book, Dead Solid Perfect? This is what this hole's all about, because you must hit that tee shot solid. You've got to carry all the trouble in front of you. And remind yourself, too, there's enough green grass down there. Not necessarily green, but green grass around there. A good shot safely on the putting surface there, and this green's not too severe. But this is a fun par 3 just to look at, or even at least experience.
Now to the par 5 12, pretty big hole with a really big green.
And a really good blue area to the left called water there. That's to be avoided off this tee, that's for sure. A good drive that avoids all of that. And then the hole is certainly reachable, but as you can see, water creeps in again back right on the side. So just don't get too clever there here. A 5 wouldn't be the worst score, maybe not better, but believe me, so many of 6s and 7s racked up here at par.
Yeah, about 150 yards left here, Frank.
That's as bad a shot as I've seen for a long while.
Frank, you like his chances to walk away with a par here?
Well, with a good shot, Rich, yeah, that's certainly on the cards in that. And you think you just write a par down at the end of the hole. Don't tell anyone about it. It certainly won't affect the scorecard at the end of the day. So that's the goal right here.
Been pretty good all day from this distance, just trying to take care of business. Clean this up with a tap. -3 now for the round. Frank, describe the layout here at the 14th hole. It's 444 yards, and what a beautiful hole.
It is, and it's a beautiful view. You see everything from the top of that tee there. It's a hole that keeps bending to the left. There's enough bunkers down the left there to actually take your eye. That's where you got to fixate on something in the distance that's a much better line than worrying about that wall of sand down the left side. And that's where the men separate themselves from the boys. That was just a beautiful bunker shot.
That's skill right there. Bit inconsistent. 4 bogeys now on the round. Here at the 15th hole here at Wolf Creek, bit of a breather here. Nice short par 3. You don't want to miss this green.
No, that's the temptation there. If you try and bite off a little too much because it looks a little too easy, then a bogey here and you're in a bad mood all of a sudden at Wolf Creek.
Struggling a bit with the flat stick and a drop shot here at the 15th hole. So not his best work. He'll walk away with a bogey. Now to the 16th hole, and Frank, another good scoring chance.
If you can avoid the confusion off the tee, it looks like the hole might be a dog leg, then is it a carry? It meanders from one way to the other, but
it's in the hole. Just a sensational shot right there. Frank, this is really a cool closing stretch here at Wolf Creek. Short par 3 15th, the short 4 at the 16th, and now the par 5 6. Look out, that ball's OB, and that'll be a one-shot penalty. Third shot now after having gone OB, coming out of the rough and right up next to the hole. Looking to make a move. This putt for birdie. 3 under on the day. Finishing hole here at Wolf Creek is only 307 yards. Frank, where's the trouble here?
Short and to the right of this par 4. Really, there's a multitude of options off this tee. You could hit an iron, you could hit a fairway wood. Even some might try and hit a driver, but that's a little too risky. There's too many problems up ahead if you try and take this hole on. Really a short club off the tee, leaving yourself some area of 100, 70 yards, and you're going to be putting for birdie more often than not.